Good morning, children. Today I am going to teach you class 7's first chapter of civics, the Constitution of India. First, we need to know what is a constitution. A constitution is a document that embodies the norms by which the state is to be constituted and the country is to be governed. What is the meaning of the word norms? Norms means the laws. Constitution is a document that has the laws by which the country or the state has to be constituted and the country is to be governed. That means all the kinds of laws on which the state, the country has to work is all embodied in a constitution. It can be written or can be an unwritten document. Moving on next, the Constituent Assembly. Constituent Assembly was an association of elected members who took up the work for framing the Constitution. Framing the Constitution means these were the members who decided that what all things would be there in a constitution. After the partition and the independence, the Constituent Assembly took up the charge for working for framing the constitution. There were 308 members who were elected by the Provincial Legislative Assembly. So through a common assembly, 308 members were elected and these members were known as the Constituent Assembly. And this assembly worked for the framing of the constitution. The Congress at time it ensured that all the committees, communities, association of the country should get equal recognition in the constitution. Moving on next, the drafting committee. You can see these are the members of the drafting committee, headed by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. The drafting committee had 8 major committee members appointed by Constituent Assembly. So first the assembly was made and that assembly made a drafting committee. The work of the drafting committee was to prepare a draft of the new constitution for India. Now what is a draft? A draft, you can say, maybe a preface, or you can say an introduction for what all things would be included and what all things can be edited from the constitution. So here we have the picture and here we have the Constitution Assembly's composition, which comprised of 389 members, of which 292 were elected by members and the Provincial Legislative Assemblies, while 93 members were nominated by the states. I will show you the list of the members of the drafting committee. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, chairman of the committee. B.N. Rao, the constitutional advisor. Jawaharlal Nehru, who became the first prime minister of our country. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel was the deputy prime minister and the home minister. Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad, minister of education. Rajendra Prasad, president of Constituent Assembly, and C. Rajagopalachari was the governor general of India. The list of the names of the drafting committee, and this is the position that they hold it in the committee. Coming to the sources, what were the sources that gave inspiration to the points that were included in our constitution? The source came from the USSR Constitution, the Ireland Constitution, Constitution of Canada, Constitution of USA, Constitution of South America, and the Constitution of Australia. So these former written constitutions were studied and the important points were noted down by our Constituent Assembly, and the points which all they thought that should be included. They all good points were included in our constitution. The time taken for this whole procedure was 2 years, 11 months and 18 days. This was the total time taken for the drafting and for the writing of our constitution. Moving on next to the most important segment, that is, when was the constitution officially adopted. It was adopted on November 26, 1949, but was implemented from January 26, 1950, the day when we celebrate the Republic Day, 26 January. What is the importance of the day 26th? There was an incident that in 1929, during a freedom struggle, the then Congress had taken a pledge to celebrate January 26, 1930, the next year, as the Independence Day. But they got freedom very late, in later years, in 1947, August. So they waited for the next year, 26 January, to implement Constitution on that day and make it a historic day. So this is the importance of the day 26th January. Moving on next, what all are there present in our constitution? The preamble and its contents. The preamble starts with the line, "We the people of India." That means the constitution is the constitution of the people of India, for the people, by the people. The constitution has been drawn up and enacted by the people through their representatives and not handed down to them by a king or an outside power. That means people themselves have given this constitution to them, and it is not at all hereditary as given by a king. Next point is sovereign. People have supreme right to make decision on internal as well as external matters. No external power can interfere or dictate the government of India. Moving on, next point, socialist. Wealth is generated socially and should be shared equally to the society. That means everything should be equal in the society. The government will always try to reduce the inequalities. Moving on, next, a very important point, that the country shall not hold any official religion and that it has to treat all the religions equally. We need to follow religion tolerance. Coming to the next point, democratic. Indian democracy, the people of India elect their government at all levels by a system of universal adult franchise. That means whoever citizen of India is above the age of 18 is free to give vote. They can give vote to anyone they think is eligible to be the representative of the government, irrespective of the caste, creed, religion, education and their background. Last point is republic. India is a republic as the head of our country is elected by the people. That means we, the people of India, we elect the head of our country, and his post is not at all hereditary. This is very important. This is not hereditary. That means the president of the country is republican, is a member of the public and is the head for 5 years. Moving on, next, the last part of the chapter, the four main ideals of the preamble. Justice. Every citizen of India will have social, economic and political justice. Liberty. Every citizen will have the liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship. Equality. Every citizen will be provided with the equality of status and of opportunity. Fraternity. All the citizens of India have been assured about the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. Justice. All are equal before law and every citizen will get justice equally. Liberty. They are free to their thought, express, belief, faith and worship. Equality, all are equal in the eyes of law. Fraternity, all are supposed to live with the feeling of brotherhood and give equal dignity to all the individuals holding any background or any religion, and you have to live with unity and integrity, maintaining the dignity of the nation. So these all mentioned features and values have been put forward by the constitution makers to make our country a better one and for the better future of the nation. Thank you, children.